I've been hired through Yacht Delivery Solutions, who specialize in providing qualified skippers and experienced crew for yacht deliveries. More info can be found about them in the description. This would be my first ocean crossing, and also my first time as hired crew. If anything went wrong, it could ruin my chances of making a living off of sailing. There's a few things that can make or break a successful ocean passage, starting with the boat. We were sailing on a FAR 56, which is considered a fast and strong world cruising yacht. She would be able to get us to Fiji quickly, which would be key to avoiding big storms that we couldn't foresee. Her comfortable interior and ample space would also do wonders for crew morale. Most importantly, though, she was fully outfitted with all the electronics we would need to track weather, spot other boats, and keep the boat in the right direction. All the tools won't get a boat very far on its own, though. That's where we come in. There's the boat's owner, Paul, an American from Western USA and a competitor in several multi-day races. Then there's Captain Peter, a born sailor who first took to the sea as a child and the only one of us with offshore experience. And then there's me, 3 years of sailing experience, including notorious passages up the coast of New Zealand's South Island and Cook Strait. We would be depending on each other for safety as we rotated watches, and Captain Peter, who we'd just met, to make good judgment calls. And the first big call he'd have to make is choosing a safe weather window. Alrighty, so we're starting to look at the weather. Peter sent a message saying that he's thinking about either the 25th or the 26th to leave New Zealand. And he asked me to take a look at the maps and give my opinion, which is very terrifying because I feel very inexperienced in all of this. But he said, look at where the models diverge, and if there's 3 models that broadly agree on one prediction, then we can be confident in that prediction. So look at when they're starting to diverge. And so I had to look at predict wind here. And it looks to me like the models start to diverge around Sunday. So there's a low that's coming in from the northwest of New Zealand, and it's going to make its way across the northwest. Or there's going to be, it's going to go down and actually dip towards Auckland, in which case we can use that wind to shoot our way up. So we'll either get becalmed or we'll have a low. So the weather models don't really seem to agree, but that's where Sunday they're diverging. And it's not until around Tuesday afternoon I see that the weather models don't agree of where that low is going to be, but at the very least they do agree that there'll be wind and that the low will be passing to the east of New Zealand. And for me, I mean, again, I'm a newbie, but that seems like, you know, we'll have wind to get out of New Zealand. And if we wait too late on Wednesday, there's a low that's right below New Zealand that might suck the wind out, and therefore we won't have any wind to shoot our way up. So I'm thinking Tuesday, but he still thinks Wednesday, Thursday. So I've sent him my thoughts. We'll see what happens. And I'm keen to learn. Once we had a weather system the entire crew agreed upon, we planned to meet early morning the day prior to departure so we could familiarize ourselves with the boat. The last thing we wanted was to be dealing with an emergency in big weather and trying to find tools that can make the difference in life and death. So you can kind of tell that you can definitely tell that Peter's got way more experience than me, because he's just kind of walking around the boat, finding things to like tie in place and fix and adhere to the boat, and he's just putting things back together super fast. And man, things just take so much less time with him, it seems, compared to when we were on Satori. But it's cool to see, because I'm kind of making note of the things that he's making note of. So if I'm ever a captain, we'll see about that. But if I'm ever a captain, I will know what to look for. So yeah. Now it was time to get packing, and that would not be an easy feat, considering I would be filming the entire trip as well as serving as working crew. It's kind of crazy because I feel like I'm probably forgetting something, but this is also like a ton of stuff. I'm like, how am I gonna fit all in my bag? We'll see. I'm bringing so much stuff. After finishing our final task of filling up the fuel tanks, we had a last look at the weather to see if tomorrow was still looking viable. So I'm checking on the weather again to see how things have developed over the last couple of days. We were looking at a departure tomorrow, but it looks like we are going to have to postpone to Monday at the earliest. And that's because there is a system that's developing over the east coast of Australia, and it's not clear at this point whether it's going to move east across the top of New Zealand or southeast down to the South Island. But regardless of whether or not it moves east or southeast, it's pulling all of the wind downwards, which would mean that if we were to sail in this weather, we would be beating straight into the wind, which is a super uncomfortable way to sail. You typically want this wind behind you or on your sides. Sometimes you can't help it, but we haven't left yet. We can help it. So we're looking at maybe a Monday departure. I don't know. We'll see.
When departure day finally arrived, I should have been excited about the potential sail. Instead, I was dealing with another unique issue that would end up being far worse than I predicted.
It's early in the morning. It's early in the morning. Yes. Apparently I like to sing on my channel. So we are about to take off, and I have to tell you something that I am experiencing, which is a unique experience that makes this trip a lot harder. It's already a little weird traveling with two guys that I don't know. They're very, very nice people and I expect no issues. But the added little issue that makes it slightly more awkward is my period started this morning. Yay! So these first 24 hours of my period are always the worst. And turns out that the first 24 hours of the sail will also be the worst. We're expecting 33 knot winds, 3 to 4 meter waves. So I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. How are you feeling about things?
Good.
Yeah, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the weather looking like out there?
It was really sketchy last night with a quick thunderstorm coming over, but it's passed. So we're still going to have a bumpy 24 hours, but after that it looks fine.
Sweet. So what's the rest of the sail look like?
We're going to, well, who knows when we get out there, but it looks like we're going to have some wind behind us about 20% of the time, then we're going to have some calm, and then we're going to hit the trades, and then we'll be on a starboard tack for the rest of the way in.
Sweet.
But that's what Predict Wind says, and they can't predict much for very long periods of time. Anything past 3 days out, and that's it.
Nice.
So with a weather window we thought we could trust, we checked out of customs. We had to be off the dock in an hour.
Customs has come and went. We've taken off most of the lines, and we're doing just a couple last minute things, and then we're off. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just feeling butterflies in my stomach. I am feeling so giddy and excited and nervous as heck. My hair is an absolute wind-blown mess, and I'm starting to feel a wee bit nauseated. Not too bad, but yeah, I've eaten some food because they say the happy place is between full and hungry. So yeah, I've just eaten some food to get myself a little bit fuller, and yeah, sitting outside, looking at the horizon. It's nice. Now that we're on the move, you feeling better?
Oh yeah, much better. Yeah.
It always feels better when you start moving, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we've arrived as soon as you drop off the dock line.
Oh geez, don't jinx us. It's so weird passing Tiri over here, because the last time we did this was when we went to Great Bear Island with Connor and a bunch of friends, and haven't been this direction since, so yeah, kind of weird way to do it.
The first 48 hours were predicted to be the worst, but not just because we were forecasted to have big winds, waves, and heaps of rain.
hours at sea are also when your body is adjusting. It hits everyone in different ways.
Well, I took my first sea legs. Yeah, hopefully it helps. I think it is. But yeah, we're passing a little barrier right now, and yeah, it kind of sucks that I'm not feeling so great, but I guess it's what I expected.
Even when the lethargy, vomiting, headaches, dizziness, and irritability of seasickness kicks in, the boat sails on and someone must always keep watch.
I am still feeling like poop. I unfortunately have not been able to eat. I've been trying to keep something down, but I can't. So I took a seasick pill, but my body's struggling to keep that down. So hopefully that'll kick in at some point and I'll start to feel better. Turns out it really sucks having your period at the same time you're sailing. But it'll pass. Probably tomorrow I'll start to feel better because it's always just the first day. I've never had seasickness like this before. This is stupid. Which is kind of funny because I'm supposed to be like really excited about this first day, but instead I just feel like poop. But I guess that's part of the experience, right? And then it'll pass and I'll be like, oh, that was funny. Anyway. Keeping it real, y'all. So this is definitely way more than you want to know, but sharing my experience, so here we go. So I tried several times to take seasickness medicine and I just kept puking it up, and I was going through my packet and I couldn't, right? Like I needed to use the medicine, needed it to work. So I drank a bunch of water. I didn't eat any food because I just couldn't keep anything down, and just had to kind of hold it in, you know? Like whenever it wanted to come up, nope, you gotta keep it back down. And it was really gross, but the pill finally dissolved and I feel so much better, like almost not seasick at all. So now the key will be to get some food into my body as soon as possible to make sure that I don't get like tired and lethargic and stuff like that from not eating. So yeah, I've eaten a couple of nuts just to see how it handles and a little bit of Gatorade, and I'm just sitting here waiting to see if anything tries to come up again because I just don't want to push it too fast. But yeah, I'm glad I got that seasickness pill in me. Next time I'll probably just take it early. I don't normally get seasick like this, but it happened.
What people often don't realize is how hard it is to feed yourself. It takes so much effort to prepare food that you find yourself trying to survive off small snacks. But getting nutrition in your body is key to staying alert and ready to respond at any time. Once you make it past the first 48 hours of being seasick, it can feel like a massive weight off your shoulders and like nothing can possibly go wrong.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, Captain.
That's my hair.
You said it's normal for people to feel sick the first 48 hours, right?
Yeah. 24 to 48 hours, a lot of people do. Yeah, but
How come? What's happening?
physiologically,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm no doctor. I think it's just acclimatizing to the unusual environment.
Yeah, but it happens in every boat you get on?
No, there's no every time. A lot of times people, it takes a while to acclimatize.
Yeah. Probably pretty happy that we're all feeling better though, right?
Oh yeah.
You really?
It's much more pleasant for everyone.
I got my crew back! Sweet.
Even with the seasickness gone, though, there was still a lot to take care of and worry about. Rotating watches, challenge of the night, getting enough sleep.
So, 360, 10 minutes. Okay. 3-hour watches. We can be a little bit more relaxed during the day. It's calm out, you know. But still, there should be somebody up here. Yeah, every 10 minutes.
So the other thing that I do is I check the AIS for other boats, and I check the radar for incoming squalls, and I also look at the wind speed to make sure that our sail plan matches the speed, see if it's picked up or not. So if the wind's picked up, I might pull some sail in, or vice versa, let some sail out. So yeah, looks like we're good right now. It's funny, I spent the first couple of watches just trying not to puke, to be honest. It was really difficult. But now I'm feeling so much better. So now the key is to make sure that I eat, make sure I stretch, that I move around, and just keep taking care of my body so that I'm still alert.
How's my hair?
Your hair looks great. How old are you, and what was your first trip that was about this long?
About a week. I was about 16 or 17, and I did a delivery from King's College up to Nova Scotia on a 96-foot schooner, wooden schooner.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's called the Amy Baker, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a great.
How many were there?
We had about a crew of 8, if I remember correctly.
Oh snap. Did you get paid?
No, that was a freebie. That was because I knew nothing at that point, really, and I'd never been on a schooner before.
Nice. Did everything go smoothly?
From what I remember, yeah, everything went smoothly. The only thing I remember specifically about that boat, not the trip, is about 2 years later, maybe more, the Amy Baker sunk off the Jersey coast, popped a plank and sunk. Yeah, everyone was rescued, so nobody died, but it was really sad to hear. It's a beautiful vessel.
Do you remember how you felt on that trip?
Exhilarated the whole time. I absolutely adored it.
Yeah.
I remember the bunks were actually really weird because they were all wood and it was like a single bed, and then there was a plank from corner to corner, and you would fit 2 people in it, head to toe. So you get so there were little coffins. You were like sleeping in coffins. And you had about this much space between you and the top. It was eerie. It took a little bit of getting used to.
Nice. And did your parents care that you were like a young kid going on a trip like this?
My dad set it up. He was great. He knew the guy. He knew I wanted to go sailing. We met the guy on the dock, and he said, "I think my son would like to go with you to Nova Scotia." So he got me the gig.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
As we all enjoyed the beautiful sunset and prepared for nightfall, we had no idea that we were soon to be tested in our ability to problem solve as a team.
The wind is starting to die, so I wonder if we're gonna pull out the main a bit more. We've got 2 reefs in right now and just the stay sail in the front, but it might be time to pull up more sail soon, so we'll see. But it's also getting dark, so the captain might be conservative. We'll see.
Yeah.
What are your 2 biggest worries in the night?
My hair. I have no worries. That's
no,
perfect.
what did we just change?
What did we just change?
Yeah.
Oh, we just shook out a reef because wind's actually going to be reducing at night and backing around, so we're going to be going more downwind. Since it's going to be lighter, we need more sail area up to go faster.
Sweet. And then we put a jibe preventer in, right?
Oh yeah. We put a preventer on as well, so if there was an accidental jibe, it stops that from happening.
Yeah, because we got that backstay that is kind of a
The
pain.
running backstay is a bit of a problem if you have an accidental jibe.
Yeah. Oh my god, middle of the night, losing mast. Oh Jesus.
Let's not do that.
So it's my 3rd night watch, and we are about halfway there. So we've been averaging about 8 knots, so I'm guessing we have about 3 more days to go. We're going really fast, not gonna lie. It's unfortunate I've just had to turn the engine on because the wind's just dying off completely. It's interesting because we keep moving through these like different stages of weather and they don't last very long. And depending on like what the weather is like, it will also depend on what you can do on the boat. So like now we can go on the deck because there's not a lot of waves, and now I can sit on the floor and stretch and exercise because the boat isn't flying about too much. And yeah, the main isn't snapping anymore from the light winds because you know, with the engine on. So yeah, just everything's so temporary, you know.
I think it's on your side. I think the number 1 is on the port side.
So our 2nd reefing line broke at about 5 in the morning. It was Paul's watch, and he went out to check the main because he heard some flapping, and it was really baggy, and none of the adjustments he made any difference. So he looked around and saw that the 2nd reefing line was dangling and has snapped. So we decided to shake out a reef, and we just put the 1st reef in, and luckily that's okay because it's not windy at all, and we have a 3rd reef if we needed to reef down instead. So we were really lucky under the circumstances. But it was a new line, so we got to figure out tomorrow morning what happened. And was it chafing? Like, what's caused it to snap? So luckily we're okay, but a bit of 5 a.m. madness. Anyways, my watch is starting. I always feel quite lucky when my watch overlaps with a sunrise or a sunset. It's very serene being out here all alone watching the sunrise. It's very beautiful. By the way, my bomb diggity OG awesome patrons made this video happen, and I've only got until December to make this channel work, so consider joining the team. It's as little as $2.50 a month. Thank you. The days flew by fast, and next thing we knew, something weird began to happen. It truly is a difficult feeling to describe, but the closest comparison I can think of is if you were stuck in the TARDIS, flying endlessly throughout the universe. It's in moments like these that you start to fall in a feeling of camaraderie with the team, knowing that you faced troubles together before, can likely face them again, and you have this special moment at sea together, which very few will experience.
We have 601 nautical miles behind us and 563 to go. So we are just over the halfway point. Woohoo! Which means it is time for me to finally take a shower. Yay! Hot water, calm seas. I'm so excited about life right now. It's funny how these things work. It's just a simple thing, but I'm so happy right now. Alright, so we passed the halfway point, you took a shower, how are you feeling?
Feel fantastic.
Yeah, past halfway this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Feeling happy about that?
What's that?
Feeling happy about that? We're so close! We're gonna make it.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
When you're not fighting the mainsail and reefing lines together, there's a much more subtle negotiation that's happening between strangers at sea. Reading subtle cues to understand how much space and interaction each other need is key to maintaining feelings of camaraderie, and negotiating personal interactions can make or break being rehired as crew. One rule that seems to hold true on all boats, though, is the bow is for alone time. It's super therapeutic and calming, just sitting out here. I think it's because you're so close to nature, you know? It's been fun, by the way, bonding with the guys and just hanging out. We're all having a good time, especially now that we're feeling better and everything's calmer. So this might be my second to last night watch, which is a little strange. We are getting closer and closer to Fiji, but that is actually not the reason that we're here. The reason that we're here right now is to tell you that my period is over. I know, TMI. But it's been so awkward to have a period on the boat while sailing with two guys. But you know, I ended up just telling them, I was just like, you know, it freaking sucks, but it's life. I kind of feel like people should talk about this kind of stuff more because, what, half the population experiences this? So, yeah. When you sail long enough, there becomes an expectation that things will break. And after a while, when they don't, you find yourself bracing for when they do. So despite the good conditions, despite not being far from Fiji, we were waiting for it when it came. At first, it wasn't clear what happened. The electric winches weren't allowing us to roll in the headsail. When using the manual handles, we felt or heard a snap. That couldn't be good. The immediate forecast was that winds would lighten, and if wrong, we could always wind it in by hand. So we opted for the only real solution when you're approaching land after 6 days at sea. Feijoa crumble, which is ice cream sour, ice cream sour with Feijoa flavor by Dunkin's, and it's really good. It's used with lactose yeast, which means it's a bit more creamy than most beers, and yeah, let's give it a try. It's got a slight tartness to it. This Feijoa flavor is really subtle. It's not like really sticking out, but it's very creamy. Tastes exactly like ice cream. It's a really good beer. What do you think of it?
Pretty good.
Yeah? Pretty good? Tastes like ice cream?
Not bad. What?
Tastes like ice cream?
Very much like ice cream.
Nice. I would say in terms of sours, I would give it a solid 8. It's good. Cheers. I feel like I definitely have a lot to learn as a sailor. But yeah, I don't know, this trip is kind of making me daydream a bit about possible things that I could do. I've always wanted to go to Antarctica, and it'd be so cool to join like a short expedition down there, or single hand a figure 8 around New Zealand. I don't know. Who knows what will happen? Slowly, of course. No reason to rush it, but yeah, I've definitely got some ideas about some cool things that I'd like to do. So, I just had a reminder come up on my phone about an anti-war march for Ukraine in downtown Auckland today, and it was a bit of a jarring reminder that I'm out here enjoying this beautiful nature while our friends in Ukraine are having a really tough time, and honestly I don't know what to say. I'm thinking of you guys. I know that doesn't really help, but we're always thinking of you guys. As we approached Fiji, there was a mixed feeling of both sadness and excitement. Hey, how excited are you?
Very excited. Very, very excited.
Nervous?
Yeah.
It's always nervous pulling into port, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah, but you're fine?
Yeah.
You're like, I've
beautiful.
done this. Hell yeah.
Great. Yeah. It's been a wonderful passage. No big issues at all.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah? Finally, right?
Yep.
Did it take as long as you thought it would?
It was about what I thought it would.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Nice. We'll have to have a celebratory beer once we get in.
Definitely.
We'd come together as strangers in the beginning, but we'd had this magnificent experience together, seeing some of the most beautiful scenes the universe has to offer. And then, abruptly it felt, it would be coming to an end. But we had one last challenge to overcome together. So the Genoa is not furling in, so the guys are jerry-rigging to wrap it around right now so it doesn't blow while we're pulling in the slip, because yeah, that could be quite tragic if the wind blew the sail and blew us off course, so eek. Much to our chagrin, neither the electric nor manual winches would bring in the headsail, so we ended up taking out all the lines and wrapping up the headsail by hand. It's funny, we got all excited about coming into Fiji and we can see land. We're so close, but we still have another hour to navigate through the reefs. The three of us, we came from different worlds, different levels of education, monetary means, age. And when people are so different, sometimes it can seem overwhelming. Like, how will we ever come together? How will we feel some sense of unity? Oftentimes in life, we don't. The divide grows and grows until we dehumanize each other. So when people do come together, somehow finding common ground, when you have complete strangers leave such an intense experience thinking, I'd spend multiple days in a tiny space with my life in your hands, again? Well, I think that's really special. I really treasure this experience. So we arrived in Fiji safely. We are all checked in, and yeah, we're gonna take some rest for the next day or two, and then I've got some cool things to show you guys in the next episode while I show you Fiji.